Why would they come to our concert just to boo us?
Howdy, howdy, howdy. How we doing, everybody? Happy New Year. Welcome to the stream, first one of 2024. Oh, thank you for the follow, Nathan, my good friend. How are you doing, good sir? Stammen as well, welcome, welcome. Hope everybody had a good break. Good New Year. Lunar New Year coming up soon as well. 2 New Years. Oh, by the way, Nathan is going to be new to the stream, so he doesn't know about all the different commands that we have. So make sure that we liberally show him how many we have throughout the evening as well. Yeah, exactly. I have added a few new ones as well, if you lovely folks want to check out on my... where is it on the stream? It's on like the Twitch bio page or something. I think I got a list of them, so there's some new ones added for people to play with. But how's everyone doing? It's been a while. I figured I would do a stream tonight because I've got some I wouldn't say busy work, but I've got some like code and skin clusters that I want to centralize. I've been doing a lot of like body and face stuff that I want to kind of pull onto my standard human biped character, because it's been a while since I've properly updated them. So figured may as well do it with some company, kind of show off what's going on. Username, welcome. Username 2742. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, I guess without further ado, let's just, may as well hop into Maya. Why not? We'll let people stream in as they do. Let's see, we're going over to here. I haven't even got anything loaded up. I'll kind of show what I've got. So it's my standard character that you've probably seen if you're familiar with these streams and you've been in here before. You've probably seen this character scan a few times. But I am doing a few things specifically. Let's pull these out and just hide that. So what I've been doing with characters is I've been laying out a very particular face mesh for them. Because one thing I found, especially with working with games, is you want to start with a really low count for your joints immediately. And aiming for full max influences can be rather tricky, especially when you have a complicated face that doesn't really conform to the contours of the human face and what would be ideal for, I guess, rigging. So I've gone and created my own mask, which I use to do various things. It's got a bunch of skinning information sort of loaded into the vert order, which I can load on through my UI as well. So we've got these ones sort of transported over from another project into here. And basically I just want to like put all of the latest and greatest face stuff that I've done onto this character, just so I have like a central core location that I can call on it from. Because most of the time, if you're using Python, you can sort of like use this core as a core class that you can subclass from and do offsets from. Because if I go into my code here, into PyCharm, lovely PyCharm, we go down to custom face. We got a big long script which does like everything. It adds brows, eyes, lids, teeth, tongue, lips, nose, all this good stuff, and all of them are constrained together in a certain way. So what I've been doing previously is when I've been doing these characters is I've just been like copying and pasting all of this code into every single character, which is like okay because it allows you to sort of like customize it directly per that character. But every time if you do like a core central update, if you want to push it out to other characters, you have to then copy those updates and paste them across. So rather you could use like a core class to subclass from, and ideally that's what I want to do from my standard human biped and human biped simple, which just have different numbers of joints and stuff between them. So yeah, we'll be focusing on all this good nerdy stuff tonight, basically. Because I don't know, let's do a quick Do I even have this stuff loaded in? Oh, I do. Let's do a quick build and see what happens. Not too sure what's going on. I have actually restructured some of my build code as well to do a bit more interesting and useful print statements as well. Actually figuring out what's going on. Then let's go. Let's go. Nathan, that's one for you. That's from the hit film Cool as Ice. The hit film from Vanilla Ice, 1992. 1992? 1990? 1991? I can't actually remember. I should know it because I've watched it so many goddamn times. He's a bit of a central character on this stream, if you can't tell. What is that? I have a Cool as Ice poster in the background. Directed by the guy who directed Inspector Gadget. That is correct. David Kellogg. A true visionary. And Cool as Ice is actually the superior movie. Has anybody watched that Inspector Gadget movie like within the last 20 years or so? Because if you have, you probably like had a heart attack watching it like I did. That movie is a fever dream. It's insane. I felt like I was having heart palpitations. Probably got brown bricked. Minecrafter? Oh, I need to have a Minecrafter thing for my stream. That would be great. Brown bricks. Hold on, I'm gonna tantalize people with a new command. Ooh, what's a good one?
Who are these people?
Yeah, we got some Austin Powers ones. I recently went to a trilogy screening of Austin Powers a few months ago. The first one's really, really good. Second one's pretty good. Third one is a slog to get through, especially when you're watching them one after the other, and it's getting after midnight. But that being said, the third Austin Powers had the moment that I laughed the hardest in. So, you know, take that for what you will. This is all Python, right? I gotta up my quality to read shit. I haven't watched those since I was like 10. All the code that I use within Maya, is generally Python based. So I have my, actually I can probably, oh boy, I gotta remember to scroll out on this afterwards. Woo! Oh man, this is actually gonna now break me. I gotta remember what zoom level I use. But yes, this is all Python code. So, Nathan, because you probably aren't too familiar with how stuff goes in Maya, when you do anything in the program, like this is the script editor here in Maya. If I was to do something like create a cube, you see we've got a cube at the origin point now. In the script editor, it spits out a bunch of information. So this is Mel script. This is what Maya uses. It's called the Maya embedded language. Whatever it uses in here, this is like the code it uses to create these things. So every action you do within the program has a command that you can use. So the standard Maya embedded language, that's the sort of like core code, but you can also use Python. It's like a wrapper for that code. And Python has a bit more sort of breadth to what you can do with it. You can use cool things like dictionaries and stuff like that, which is sort of lacking in Mel. Nice thing about Mel is it always stays the same, so a script you made 20 years ago will still work, whereas you're sort of like reliant on different Python versions. So I use Python 3, so if anybody was still on a version of Maya that only uses Python 2.8 or whatever, scripts wouldn't work. Or, I mean, they kind of would, it depends on what the script is, but some things are different between the versions. How about a schmock and a pancake? Gold member. He's from Holland. Isn't that weird? It's been 10 years since I was here. Yeah, you don't really need to worry about Maya so much these days. Most people don't. Or like, you know, indie devs don't so much. I know a lot of indie devs like using Blender. And Blender is a fine program, nothing against Blender. It's just most of the projects I work on, because it's animators who have sort of been like working at studios and are most familiar with Maya. It's just like the stuff that gets me the most work, so that's why I stick with Maya. but I'd love to have a go of Blender and Unreal and all that good stuff at some point. But anyway, so what I just did, like you can see for example, like if I just close all that out, and this is my script. So the character we're working on is called Human Biped. So I have a script here, which is a bunch of like all this code in here. So if we would open it up, we can see we got a bunch of information. It's doing stuff like building a deformation rig, face deformation rig, custom deformation. Look at all that, it's loading skin clusters and things. So every time I execute this code, it's basically executing a build script of like thousands of lines of code, which, you know, bit by bit builds this character automatically. And I can essentially create a character from scratch, from nothing. And that's where the inherent use of using code for rigging comes in, because you can use it to automate a bunch of tasks that you don't want to do. Like, I don't want to keep building an arm for a character over and over again. I would rather do it once and then find a way of like feeding in some different variables and everything to, you know, change various aspects of it. And there we have a huge character here now with everything working like so, but I don't think we've got any skinning loaded on. We might have it. So I have the body transfer and the face transfer? Face transfer in here. Yes, those have skin clusters on them. If I pop that out. Oh, okay, here we go. So I think this is just standard, the core sort of stuff that I have. I'm pretty sure if I'm gonna... Okay, that's working. I've had some issues with like skin clusters not updating. And I'm not sure why. For some reason, I think it's like a Maya bug, like when a mesh is hidden and you unhide it, sometimes the mesh just like stays in one place and you have to like refresh the viewport for it to like snap into place, but it seems to be working on this one. If I take a look at the face transfer. Okay, that's updating fine. Yeah. I'm curious what the split is for smaller game studios or unis. How many places skip Maya these days? I'm not actually sure. It's been a while since I've been in the teaching realm. I'm pretty sure Maya is still pretty standard at most places, especially with like online courses like Anim School and things, because generally the companies you are going into will use Maya just because, like, yes, Blender is free, but Maya has been an integral part of people's pipelines at these studios for like decades. And it's really difficult to swap over, especially like if these studios, because they've been using Maya, they probably get kickbacks from Autodesk or whatever. So they're not paying as much as they would have if like elsewhere. So yeah, I imagine most places still teach Maya, but I'm sure there's like Blender courses and stuff out there to maybe complement it. I'm not sure if these online schools do Blender ones as well. How does the skinning work on this? Do you have the model already skinned before running this script? Yes, so username, I can't remember who you are specifically because of your generic username, but I believe, let me go into my init. I've got this script in here, or this dictionary in here, dictionary list called load latest skin clusters, and it's loading on the body transfer geometry and the face transfer geometry. So what I've done is I have gone through, skinned all this stuff earlier, and then I have saved out a skin cluster file, which is just a JSON file, as well as some like ng-skin tool skin cluster information in here as well. So when I run the script, it knows, oh, I need to find the location of the skin cluster file within this location. We load it all on. So loading and saving skin clusters in Maya is like really easy. Like Maya actually has a pretty good tool for doing that by itself. Like you don't need to write one yourself these days. I think it's, where is it? Rigging, skin. Is it export weight maps? Not weight maps, no, that'll be for... Is it those ones? There's one somewhere. I might be blind to people. You might have to help me where it is. Because basically I'm just using that tool. It's in the deform menu? Deform... import and export weights. Fantastic, yeah. So you can find all that code, and if I go, like I've set up a few wrappers for it myself in here. So like if I'm loading a skin cluster from Maya file, like, you know, I'm just doing a bunch of things in here and loading the deformer weights in here. I used to, like I wrote one to do it myself, but it was like dead slow. And I did buy, oh, what's his name? There's a guy who does a bunch of like tutorials are like 10, 15 years old at this point, but like teaching you how to save out skin clusters and things. Like there's a few different tutorials out there, but I opted just to use the Maya one because it's pretty fast these days. The other alternative would be use NG Skin Tools to sort of do it as well, because that one is dead fast as well. So what I'm doing now, so like I've got a bunch of like default skin clusters on this character, and you can see like I've very roughly wrapped the eyelid here, which isn't really syncing up. So I need to do a few little like tweaks, on that mesh just to get it syncing up with, I think, I've got like a higher, is it female body? Yeah, we've got like this scan here, right? Which is pretty highly detailed. The problem being is the mesh sucks for rigging. It's very high detail, so we don't really want to like work on this by default, because if I print, let's see how many polygons are in this. About 30k, so that's going to be slow to paint on. And there's all these issues on here as well, like, oh, actually, was it this one? It might have been another one. I've got like two of these scans. One is female, one is male. I like this one because they've got nicer, nicely defined eye folds, which is good for like testing out skinning. So this is the one I prefer to stick with. But if I pull out my low face mesh, we can see we need to sort of like contour the curves, the edge loops a bit better to the face. Same with like the lips and everything, maybe a bit around the nose. Just buff that out a bit. Maybe even pull it a little bit back to the ear and everything. And then we can just transfer the skin cluster across to the main mesh and see how that all goes. See if it all holds up, because we've got this mesh. Female body. So I think right now, because all the skin clusters are sort of like messed up, let's increase the size of that. Yeah, the bling isn't looking too hot based on that, so that's something we'll need to update. But I think everything else sort of like, ooh, that has been flipped around the wrong way. I need to update that orientation. That's something I can do at a later point. Yeah, so we can get sort of like angry eyes and everything. That's all there. Can move the nose around. Woohoo. We've got upper and lower jaw controls, so you can get like the whole face sort of like get those moving, get kind of like a scrunchy, crunchy effect. And we've got all the individual lip controls moving as well. So the overall skin cluster for this is working pretty good, and this is for max influences as well, which is something I want to try and preserve. It's like really good to start lower, and if you need to add more detail, like NG Skin Tools has the capacity to like just tick a box and it'll automatically cull a bunch of things. It's really useful. So even if I've got like higher amounts of skin influences, like you can just cull those, and if you need to bring them back, then you just untick the box. It's like super useful. Because most of the time, a lot of the stuff that I've been working on is for like mobile games or for indie projects that are maybe, you know, don't need the fidelity of something like a COD or whatnot. So trying to keep things simple to begin with, add in complexity afterwards. Like I think all of these joints in here, there's maybe like, I think there's less than 50, maybe about 50 joints in the face rig. Let's see. What is it? Select joints in hierarchy, and let's print number of selected objects. Okay, no, it's more than 50, 75. But some of these will get deleted because they're not being used, like the ends of the fingers and things like that. I do think I've got in my build script is it delete unused joints? That's turned on. Why are they getting deleted? Or are they getting deleted? I'm just crazy. No, they're not. Huh. Interesting. Unless they're being used in another skin cluster, I just don't know. Yeah, because we got a bunch of like toe joints. This is like my... I got two. I've got the human biped and human biped simple. And this one, because it's the more complicated one, has all of like the toe joints and stuff as well, which are not used for the most part. So yeah, definitely don't need to worry about that for this character. I'm curious, how many joints have we got this? This one. 232. Yeah, that'll definitely come down a bit. Oh yeah, does everybody like my new Simpsons mug as well? Hold on. There we go. This is like, I got it for Christmas. My parents buy me like a new Simpsons mug every Christmas. I think this is like the third time it's happened. But it's like, it's weird. It's not the exact like Homer in the bushes. It's like an updated drawing of it. It's super strange. But I mean, I'm drinking from it every day. I don't think I have a bushes. I've got this one. Oh, is that working? Oh, it's not working. Wait, do I have it as a different one?
Okay,
there we go, that's it.
You know the drill. Right! You go over and wow them. I hide in the shrubs.
Okie dokie. So, I think what I'm going to do is start laying out the lower face a little bit, and then we subdivide it, make sure it all conforms, and then that should be good. So, first of all, let's do this as skinning. Let's save a file, working file, just so we don't lose everything we're doing. This will be, where do we do it? Face, topo, matching. There. Actually, I should probably pull my tablet out for this. I'm gonna have no space. I've got my microphone, I've got my tea, I've got my tablet. Whew. It's getting warm in here. I need air conditioning as well. So how has everyone been doing? I know it has been particularly tough in the video games and film industry recently, so I hope everyone's doing well and is keeping employed. Let's go to the quad drawer. So we want to sort of get like this edge loop here to go around the edge of the eyelids. Dude, someone on another stream told their chat that tablets are for children and boomers. Can you believe that? Like, Wacom tablets? Tablets are for children and boomers. What do they do? Are they coders? Any tablets? I've used a Wacom graphics tablet since I was about, I'm gonna say like 14, 15? This is the third one I've owned. I had a, what was it? It wasn't a Bamboo. Was it a Bamboo? Like the original Bamboo or something? No, Graphire. I had a Graphire. I had an Intuos 3, which lasted me, I think, since university, which I must have bought in 2008. And I only bought this one last year. So, yeah. 3 tablets my entire life. I thought it was so funny. Yeah, it's a very interesting take. I definitely do not agree with that one. Tablets, I mean, For rigging, I know, like, it's kind of subjective. Like, do you need a tablet or not? I personally like using one, because I use it for, like, painting weights and just kind of, like, quickly moving things into place, but, I guess that sort of depends. Can I turn this... because this is sort of like the loop that we want to do. I'm just going to delete that. Okay, boomer. Ugh, I do that as I crack my back because I'm an old man. So wait, what is, like, they say it's for children or boomers? So who are the people in the middle? Me? I would be the, am I, like, millennials? I thought millennials would be, like, the prime target for tablets. I am so confused.
And oh, Lord save me.
Let's make sure those are roughly in the right place. Oopsie doodle. Whoopsie doodle. Oh, I need to get, like, Ned spilled inks all over my poems as well. That's a good command to have. I say whoopsie doodle. And basically, I've added, like, all of the Simpsons quotes that I say all the time. Like, Lord save me, I say a lot. I also say... Would I spell it right? No, I spelled it wrong.
It's not 5:30 yet.
Every time, like, I sit down... it's not 5:30 yet. Oh boy, don't crash. Thank you. So we've got, like, Caruncle in this one. I personally like the Dammit. Yeah, the Dammit's good. Damn it! I've just got a lot of loud ones. All the loud ones are the good ones.
Hush, field trip boy.
Okay, so we've got this inner one. Then we want to do the outer fold. Just sort of like that zone around here. And kind of like around the base of the lid, around about here. So we do need to portion these out a little bit as well. And then we can even out the ones in the middle afterwards. It's sort of like the middle point. It's important to sort of like, because skin clusters load on per vertex, it's important to get the same vertices in the same place. This is something I've actually, I'll do a quick diversion while I'm talking about this. We look at this body mesh. See how, like, on the fingers here we've got these sort of radial pieces of geometry? So these can be useful for topology, but they're also good landmarks, because if you're just using a bunch of loops and you're transferring between characters, it's really difficult to know, like, what loop is what unless you're, like, paying strict attention to it. So, like, when I'm using a program like FaceWare Wrap, where I'm specifying points that I want one mesh to snap to, it's really easy just to plonk one in the middle of these points. Otherwise, you have to sort of, like, guess which edge loop you want to do in a sea of edge loops, and it's just confusing. Like, I think this is a base mesh. Oh, who's the guy who does this base mesh? Is it, like, Vincent something or other. I forget his name. But it's one on the Flick Normal store. It's really, really good. Because, like, it's got... at the fold point for, like, the knees and the elbows, again, doesn't just have these loops. It's got sort of, like, a pocket for the back and a pocket for the front. So you can sort of tell, like, this is the middle edge loop because we've got these two little parts surrounding it. Same with the elbow. Like, we've got, like... you know, this would be the middle loop because we got this one on the outside there and this one on the inside there. So these little like landmarky parts to topology can really be useful. Otherwise, like, you're gonna make sure either you or the modeler who's, you know, transferring base meshes between characters knows exactly what edge loop they're snapping to. Otherwise, you have to redo skin clusters each and every time. I mean, generally you have to like redo them anyway, but like the amount of extra effort that you have to put in sort of varies based on that. Let's put on... Hockey. Oh boy, I need to reset the camera. Cute, that's better. So again, let's find where this sort of edge loop contour is. And this is why it's useful to have topology that sort of like conforms to the lines of the face as well. Like nasolabial folds, lip creases, eye folds, eyelids, brow and everything. Like it all sort of comes together to make rigging, make skinning a lot easier. By the way, how do you know the difference between XML and JSON while exporting weights? I tried to look it up but couldn't find any articles related to it. So what do you mean? Like how the formats work? Or because JSON basically just dumps a dictionary into a file that you can open up really easily. Whereas XML, I mean, I assume there's ways to access it, but I don't really know how to use it myself. Like how they work under the hood, I'm assuming, I don't exactly know, but I'm assuming like they both just dump a list of information which Maya can then load in and reinterpret, re-extract, and sort of like apply. Because I think if I was to like, let me just see if we actually look at one of these skin clusters. This might open up in, yeah. So this is like opening up the JSON file, right? Like all it does is it like keeps all this information in here, like pivot point, path, index, like all this stuff. And then Maya can then interpret that dictionary and apply everything. So like this might look like complete gibberish to us, but like for Maya, that's like makes complete sense. The nice thing about that as well is like because it's a JSON file, you can access that information. Like, I think I use that somewhere in the skin cluster here. Do I, like, load? Yeah, I think I, like, load in the deformer weight and weights so I figure out what joints are the influences, you know, just from that dictionary file itself. And then all you have to do is just, like, specify the format as JSON. Like, yeah, see, I've got a note here. Could be XML as well. But I just opt for Like, I think XML might be faster, potentially. But I like the easiness of just being able to access JSON stuff just through my sort of like standard script. So, yeah. Yeah, the simplicity of JSON is just like a big selling point. The fact it basically just dumps all of your information into a dictionary that's really easy to just load in and everything. Like, I use JSON for everything. I think a lot of game devs use it for stuff as well. Like, not just riggers, but like, you know, saving code and stuff. back-end stuff. Like, it's really cool, like, if you're making, you know, a video game and you have a bunch of parameters you need to set for, like, jump height or, you know, you're messing around with those things, it's really easy if you just save it to, like, a JSON file that you can really easily manipulate, right? I'm assuming, anyway. I've never done it myself. Yeah, is that sort of like... Actually, is it even lower? Look there. We sort of want, like... Yeah, a little bit higher. Actually, about there is okay, yeah. See the benefits with JSON. I've looked into it for like dialogue systems before. I don't know enough though. Yeah, have you what engine would you be using, Nathan, with that? If you're using JSON, is that for what is it? Is it Game Maker? Is that what you used before? I forget which one you use. Does Godot use like a Pythonic sort of language as well? When I was dealing with Game Maker, yeah, I do contract work with Unity now though. JSON's pretty universal. Godot is C#. Oh, okay, yeah. The goads. Okay, I think that pretty much conforms the way I want. Let's get rid of that. Let's hide that one that is broken. And add in the one with not all the stuff deleted, so we can specify a bit. So then we sort of like even out these middle parts. I need to do like a skinning ASMR stream. Topology ASMR stream. Is ASMR still a thing? Do people still do that? What's the new go-to stream that everybody does? 10 morning productivity tips for you. I gargle seawater. Robbie bathtub stream when? Didn't they ban bathtub streams? Wasn't that a whole point of contention not too long ago? Was it bathtub streams or was it something like implied nudity? What was it on Twitch? I'm not as like switched in with this stuff. Artistic nudity, wasn't that it? Didn't like Ross do a talk or something on it, Nathan? Wait, Nathan, you know Ross, right? Did you meet Ross? No, they doubled down on it. Oh, shit, okay. Alright, well, I mean, that's good because I guess this character is nude. I think it's fairly heavily implied, but I have been careful. I don't think I can like turn on textures for her because I'm pretty sure she does have nipples. Yeah. Ross Witcher Donovan. Yeah. I think he did a video on it or something. I've met, and he's in my recommended Facebook friends all the time, but not really. Oh, okay. He's a Perth boy. Oh, that's right, because that time, wasn't he doing like a Game Grumps meet or something in Perth? And you were waiting in line to talk to him, and me and my friends just cut the line and said, hey, Ross, we're just going somewhere, come meet us later. Didn't that happen like 10 years ago or something? recall that. When was that? That was a while ago. That was like Shop House days. I don't think it was in Perth for any of your other animation friends meet or whatever. Yeah, he very rarely is back in WA. I did see him. When did I see him? Was it like Christmas time last year or something? When was that? Can't remember actually. Game Grumps is still going. Yeah, Game Grumps is still going, right? That's been going forever. All those guys do like Scribble Showdown and stuff like that, right? I feel like I remember seeing photos of him with Simona and Co. a few years back. Yeah, probably. This is interesting. Did I? Oh, okay. Now we need to make those a bit neater. Ooh, actually, I probably want to pull this one down a little bit. This is sort of like, this is kind of like, I'm going into extreme detail here where I'm like trying to match up every single vertex, but it's sort of important. It just means you've got like a better point to copy everything across. And generally, I mean, this is faster than like, you know, doing everything from scratch. It's just sort of like you roughly splat everything into place with like, faceway wrap or something like that. And then you just kind of like tweak everything a little bit and hopefully it cleans up things a little bit. Ooh. Cool, so I think that pretty much covers it for that part of the face. Anything else I want to sort of neaten up? Pull that around, pull that up. Yeah, so you can see we've gone from crummy misaligned eye to much neater and representing the flow of the lids a lot better. Let's see, how does that look? Ooh, actually, we might even want to pull up that lower one a little bit. Yeah, let's do that a little bit. Just a tad. Quad draw lifesaver. If you riggers in the chat do not use quad draw, you absolutely should. My friend Stephanie Wagner, who was my buddy at NPC, meaning like when I first started at NPC, she was the one who oversaw me for like a week, making sure I didn't do anything stupid. She introduced me to quad draw all the way back then. I'd never used it before, strangely enough, and yeah, it's so good just for quickly creating like temporary meshes, you know, that you can transfer things from. So if you don't know how it works, you just specify a bunch of points on a mesh. You make sure the mesh is set to live by using this magnet button up here, and then you can build topology from it really, really easy. Godsend. All right, let's make sure that is saved. And let's start doing the lips. Actually, the lips aren't too bad. The corner is a little iffy, but we can fix that. think. Maybe. Quad draw, pretty good. Blender has one too, but I hate it. Why'd you hate it? What's different about it? Yeah, the lips aren't too bad, actually. Maybe sort of conform the shape a little better. One thing I want to do as well that I don't have is, in this face rig, I do not have a chin joint, which is something I want to add, so I can do, like, this kind of shape. What do you call that? I don't know, you might not be able to see me do it. Chin razor. Where this little sort of like, is it cartilage? I can't remember if it's a muscle or cartilage, but yeah. Or it's fat. Is it fat? It's something like that. I need to look at my anatomy for sculptors book. Because you got like cheek fat and stuff, and I think you might have fat here as well. Yeah, because it's not something I've added to most of my rigs so far, but I think it'll be useful. Basically what I'm trying to do, actually, I can kind of, another diverge, another sidetrack, but what I want to do, like you can see, if I show the face rig, my face rigs are based on controls that are literally on the face. So this is just based on preference for most of the projects I've been on, where most of the animators have preferred to animate this way. But what I want to do is build a system over the top, like a facial action coding system sort of rig. If you use like an advanced skeleton rig or whatever, that's kind of like, they've got something like that, but not exact, where you sort of have like a GUI off to the side of the face with a bunch of like attributes that you can toggle or controls that you can pull to activate individual shapes. Because I want to do that for my face rigs as well, but I want it to be a little bit more expansive, where you can like define all of the different sort of attributes and things more specifically based on the needs of the character, and also like change the distance they travel and things like that. So like if I had a face rig for a human, I could do a bunch of animation on that system, put it on like a dog or, you know, some kind of animal, and all the animation would be transferable because like it's just activating certain attributes. Oh boy.
Why are there children walking on my head?
Alchemy Sheep, thank you very much for the raid with 6 viewers. If you're not sure what's going on here, folks, this is a rigging stream where I'm talking about doing skinning on a face right now. I'm going to go finish some of my own work. Good luck, have fun. Thank you very much for hanging around, Nathan. Catch you soon, my man. We're talking about faces, folks. Works almost identical, but have to draw lines to create quads. You just can't add dots. Oh, you have to... Oh, I think I've seen something similar to that, Steve, like with... Oh, there's some, like, iPad... There's, like, an iPad app or something that does that, right? I can't remember what it's called, but you sort of, like, draw out curves and it automatically, like, fills in the quads and stuff for you, right? But yeah, like, I've got... what I was saying, like... you can see I've got this tab here called Face UI, where like if I activate it, you can sort of see like I've got this face attribute control here, which I can just quickly make. So on this locator that I created, like it's got a bunch of attributes for driving face controls, right? So, you know, you do, this is I think the ARKit that Apple uses for most of their like motion capture stuff to do with face tracking. So like these are just from 0 to 1, and the idea is like, you know, I can change this based on the needs of the character. So if it's ARKit, if it's a facial action coding system face, or if it's like some random custom thing that needs to be done, I can like load in all this stuff to the UI. It's going to say like, oh, there's no sort of like controls being used with these shapes. So you can like load the keys and then save them to the rig and things like that. So it's still very early in concept at the moment. But the idea is there. Alchemy Sheep, welcome. Thank you very much for the raid. I appreciate it. What were you up to before? Are you a gaming streamer? Are you working in game dev? What were you working on before you came here? The magnetization to the vertexes can make retopology really annoying, but I'm sure someone else likes it. Well, like, I mean, isn't that the way with Blender? Like, that's, I mean, I never really used it myself, but from what I can understand, a lot of people who go from, like, Maya to Blender, I was like, why doesn't it do things this way? And people are always like, well, you gotta sort of, like, get into the Blender mindset of using it, because it's, like, it's doing things different on purpose. Because there was, like, some huge, like, Twitter thread where a very popular, like, game dev artist was complaining about Blender, and I think they got, like, dogpiled about it. And, or like, I mean, to be fair, I don't think they were like accepting criticism at the same time. So, I don't know. I tend to stay out of drama if I can. Working on my game. Oh, what game are you making? Are you making a 3D game? 2D game? What engine? I am in Maya myself. These are rigs for use in game engines. They are game engine compatible, but I am not currently doing any game engine stuff myself right now. I really do need to do that. I need to get more experience like in Unreal and Unity and stuff like that, and just figuring out how this stuff actually goes in those programs. Because most of the time I just hand my characters off to other people and they sort of roll with it. So I've got this face, and let's start pulling these things into place. Yeah, it's a stream where I'm currently tweaking the topology of this character so we can basically get a face rig working immediately without too much hassle, just transferring it from another character. I'm perfectly willing to accept it's Blender's fault and not mine. Sometimes you just gotta go with the flow, man.
I'll stay.
Working on a 2D pixel art game in Unity. Oh, that sounds very cool. Are you an indie dev? Do you work in the industry? Is this like your solo project or part of a bigger thing? I'm always interested to hear about the work that people do. We have a lot of game artists, film artists and stuff who kind of come in here. Rigging is generally one of those disciplines that is boring to a lot of people, but to the people who had interests, this is where you should be. Game is full of bugs. Game is full of bugs is the name, and yeah, solo project. Game is full of bugs. Okay, when I search game is full of bugs, that doesn't really help me. Whoops. A lot of stuff in the search engine optimization just comes up as, why is my game full of bugs? Currently, I'm fortunate enough to do it full time. It's like Enter the Gungeon or Nuclear Throne-ish. Oh, cool! I think I'm looking at your YouTube channel. Oh, yep. Game is full of bugs. There we go. Everybody, go say howdy to Alchemy Sheep. Give him a subscribe. Give him a follow here on Twitch. Show them what a welcoming community us riggers can be. No Steam page yet, but you can find some GIFs and stuff on my Twitter. Do you have a long dev cycle going for it, or are you planning to have it done pretty soon? Is it a 2024 release kind of thing, or? I think this might actually be... If that's the base of the nose, actually might be okay, actually. Ooh, yeah. This cavity is going to be interesting. The nasal cavity. I mean, we probably don't need to worry about that diamond in there too much. There we go, that's cool. Oh, that is the end of that music. What do we got? What do I put on when I don't know what to put on? To be honest, I would love to work 2 more years in it, and it really makes something great, hopefully. But it all depends on what kind of deal I can get with publishers, if any. Yeah, it's like I'm always really interested to see how like, well, I guess what like the market is for like indie dev at the moment. Because I love seeing developers create really unique and interesting games, especially when you're a solo dev. Like that's awesome. Because it's scary in the games industry at studios right now because everybody is getting laid off by these crazy companies like with who have massive amounts of profit, right? But laying people off so they can post record earnings for the year and yada yada yada. It's all bullshit. And it's like, is now the time for indies to sort of fill the gap that's obviously going to be made when the sort of like the gap in talent that has been created from all of these firings over the last year and into this year. You know, can indies sort of fill that void and take some of that revenue? It's exciting times. Scary but exciting times at the same time. Now, this is clearly meant to be closer to the ear. Do I care about that? I probably should. Currently the market is pretty bad, allegedly, but I guess just make great things and hope people respond to it, right? Yeah, I had a chat with a really smart guy recently who, in Australia, is sort of like one of the guys who oversees of, oh fuck, what's it called? I forget the name of it, but, you know, sort of like helps games on the business front of things, and it organizes a bunch of events here in Australia as well relating to games. And because it was a really interesting chat, because he's more of a business guy and just talking about like how important it is to have like marketing and stuff behind your games, and how sometimes, because I know like as game devs or as artists generally, like we want to be the ones just sort of always being the creative ones, you know, because I'm a freelancer, right? I used to work for big studios and I decided I want to go and do my own thing. So now, because I run my own company, or like I run my own business as a freelancer, like I am my business, I have to worry about like tax and doing my accounts and things like that, making sure the money's coming in and going to the right places. So like I'm not just creative, I'm also doing like this sort of business end as well now, where I know a lot of people sort of get into it and just only want to do that one creative aspect. This is why like studios, like if they're sort of like a bunch of artists will hire like a CEO. Oh,
Why are
Jay,
there
what?
children walking on my head?
Jitspo raid. Jeez. Jitspo, thank you very much for the insane raid. 98 people. What is this? So many raids tonight. I am extremely lucky. Welcome everybody. I'm Robbie. I am a rigging technical director. I'm currently mushing this face onto a scan so I can create a face rig, make his eyes blinks and whatnot. If that sort of thing interests you, feel free to stick around. What were you up to, Jitspo? Are you a game dev as well? I'm guessing. Spending way too long on making a little light. Like a light in a game? Game engine, Maya, Blender. Right now I'm spending way too long massaging vertexes on this face. Also trying to figure out if it was possible to make a 5-sided die. That is an interesting conundrum. Mathematically, would that be possible? Did you find out if that would be possible? Yeah, Blender for a game. Cool, man. Cool. I know, I'm a dirty Maya plebeian in this stream because I've been using it for about 15 years. Actually, when did I first start using Maya? When I went to university, started 2008. Jesus, yeah, like 15 years. That's insane.
Why would they come to our concert just to boo us?
Oh, thank you very much for the follow, Alchemy Sheep. I appreciate it. You should try and make a 5-sided die. Hold on a second. Because, like, we've got, well, because a 4-sided die is a triangle, like a pyramid, right? I play in D&D, and I know that's possible. Like, it's easier, and let's hide this rig for the time being. You grab these. What is it? Merge vertices to center. Ooh. Hold on. Ooh. What am I looking for? Multi-cut tool. Stop snapping. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 5 sides. Whether could it's an arrowhead, right? Could you use an arrowhead as a die? I'm assuming this wouldn't be perfectly balanced in every single way. A perfectly balanced 5-sided die. I'm sure there's like a way to write a thesis on that or something, right? Have I done 6 sides? Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Damn it! Oh wait, did I do? Oh yeah, hold on. So wait, a pyramid. What's the D&D? Hold on. I need to get my D&D dice. All right, I'm doing research because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Oh, I see. Yeah. You guys have got me down. It's a 3-sided. Haha. We got, boom, these little guys. That's the 4-sided one, right? I wish I was a better mathematician, but alas, I am not. You have a great stream, man. Feels good to just listen, work on things meanwhile, but I have to run now. Have a great stream, and I'm trying to catch you again some other time. Thank you very much, Alchemy Sheep, for joining, and thank you very much for the raid. Everybody check out Alchemy Sheep if you haven't already. They're working on a cool 2D pixel art game called, what was it called? Something about the bugs? Game is full of bugs, which is a perfect name for a game. Anyway, that's going to drive me insane. So back to mashing the face onto this character. So people from Jitspo's stream. We were talking in chat earlier. Apparently in another stream the other night, somebody said that tablets, using graphics tablets, were both for children and boomers. What do we think about that? Do we think tablets are the tools of boomers and children? Am I gonna start some beef? Did I hide that? Yes, I did. The shape you created made me cringe next to the foot. Sharp, pointy owie. Yeah, it's like I'm throwing, was it jacks or whatever? Those little things that people step on. I should model a Lego brick next to the foot. That would be really easy to step on. Caltrops, yes. Yeah, aren't they like, or the tank sort of, yeah, Caltrops. That was like the tank catching things back in World War II, right? The only reason I know what jacks are is because Milhouse uses them in The Simpsons briefly. I got twosies! By the way, we have a lot of Simpsons references in this stream.
And oh, Lord save me.
Steven, what's a good what's your favorite Simpsons one from this stream? It was the damn it, right? Yeah, hit the road if you haven't seen, if you can't see as well. Hold on. Whoop. Ha ha ha. A lot of Simpsons. A lot of Simpsons in this stream. Damn it! This is one of my favorite.
Why would they come to our concert just to boo us?
Oh, thank you very much for the follow, Doc Doctor.
Why would they come to our concert?
Oh, and hit
just
the
to
road as
boo
well.
us?
I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Hush, field trip boy.
That's the episode where I got mugged. I have to follow a Simpsons fan. I simply have to. An Australian Simpsons fan is very easy to come by. Especially when you're my age. We're like peas in a pod. Alright, I think I'm pretty happy with the layout of all of this now. Actually, the ears are a little weird. I just kind of want to massage that into place a bit. This would really be... Do I really have that much of a gap in between here and here? I feel The Simpsons isn't referenced enough on this channel. I have my friends constantly making fun of me for referencing The Simpsons so much. IRL. I wore like a Simpsons t-shirt and they're like, wait, Robbie, you like The Simpsons? What? What's your age, mate? I am 33. Practically a boomer. That's why I use a graphics tablet.
What's that, Sonny? Back in my time, we used a bamboo tablet, and we liked it. We didn't complain nothing.
Alright. I think I'm just gonna leave the face in sort of like this position for now. How's the inner part of the mouth looking? Yeah, this is going to be a little tricky, but we'll see. Okay, stream for 8 to 9 hours, need food, time to head out. You stream for 8 to 9 hours? Good lord, man. I get tired after I stream for like 2 hours. But thank you very much for the raid, Jitspo. Everybody in the stream, if you haven't already checked out Jitspo, make sure you do that. Give him some love, give him a follow. I will be doing all that after the stream. But appreciate you stopping by. Hopefully this stream is interesting enough. I should do a stream where I open up Blender and just kind of flounder around in it and people can make fun of me. I could do that with any program that's probably not, that's not Maya. Or I try and remember how to use Flash, because Flash was my main program that I used when I was a teenager. And I'm pretty sure I still have like the muscle memory for it, but I don't know. Alright, let's make sure this is all saved, and what we're going to do, I'm going to turn off that live. Let's look at the front. So, let's grab this middle edge, let's grab that middle edge. I'm going to scale them and make sure they're in the center. So I can grab all these other verts. And we are going to mirror, what is it, symmetrize. Boom. So we got a nicely conformed face, which is a total normal thing to say. Conform to my face. That's my pickup line. That's what I say to the ladies. Let's subdivide this. Playing Putt-Putt saves the zoo on your tablet. Can you even get Flash now? Yes. Yeah. Account has it correct. It's called Adobe Animate at the moment. And honestly, I don't think it's really changed much since it was called Flash. Like, I was lucky enough to buy the Adobe Master Suite prior to them not selling it anymore. So I've been using the same Adobe products for like 10 years. Which is fine because I very rarely use them. It's mainly Photoshop and like, if the mood strikes and it's like, I kind of want to do some animation for a while, then, you know, I'll open up Flash and see if I can remember what to do. I think like, yeah, because the first version of Flash I had was when it was called Macromedia Flash. It was like MX 2004 or something. This is when I was like 14. I grew up doing stick figure animations. Which sort of like got me, like, kids these days have it so good, you know? Like, you've got access to Unity, to Unreal, to Blender, all these like free programs with a bunch of cool stuff in them. Like, teenagers are like, can make so much cool stuff now. It's awesome. I love it, but I'm also so insanely jealous because like, back in my day, I had to go into the stick figure forums and say, how do I do this and that? There were no tutorials. We did all of this stuff based on our moxie and the cut of our jib and whatnot. Macromedia Dreamweaver, Octo, like, that was for making websites, right? Wasn't that like that was an HTML-y sort of thing? I think I used it a little bit back in the day. God. I'm gonna smooth this face. Yeah, the WYSWYG editor. What's that? That is a large acronym. I'm all about large acronyms. I just don't know what that one is. Makes me feel old. How about seasoned? How about a seasoned veteran account? Wait, sorry. Hit the road. What you see is what you get. Let's get the voice. So, one really neat feature as well is if you're making something live in Maya. So I've got this this scan, this female body scan that I'm matching to. So it's live. I can just grab this mesh that I've subdivided. Make sure I don't set like the joints. And I can just scale it in. And it just kind of immediately snaps to the mesh and sort of conforms. Now it's looking like it's freaking out in the mouth a little bit. It's a mouth freak out. So I'm gonna have to fix that up, but I think for the most part everything else seems to have conformed okay. Let's take a look. Oh, the normals are not holding up though. I have to do something about that. We totally moved away from the idea, at least for web dev. Yeah, because web dev is all like, isn't like Canva and Webflow and stuff like that these days? I've been having like those videos pop up in my YouTube feed recently. I'm like, what the hell is this? Or Squarespace, that kind of stuff. You need a website. Why not do it yourself? Does Jitspo have a Squarespace sponsorship? I'm guessing if they've got 100 people watching them, gonna have some sponsorships, right? What's the one that everybody gets sponsored by? What's that like weird game that's like a scam? Shadow. Well, okay. Allegedly a scam. I don't know. This is what I've heard. Raid Shadow Legends? Yeah. Sarah's got it. The disappointing thing with Raid Shadow Legends as well, maybe not disappointing, but they've got really cool advertising, like the sort of integrated, they've got like the CG characters integrated with live action plates, and the characters look awesome. Like whichever studio they hired to do those ads is like really good at what they do. It's always interesting when you find something you appreciate on like a technical level, but like don't like it. Like the Neil Blomkamp movie Chappie. I hate that movie, but the robot designs and like the way the character is integrated into the movie, like perfection. Like one of the best movies for CG, honestly. The Moose isn't as good as Chappie and that throughout it, but like. It's a really solid movie. I think Image Engine did most of the effects on that movie. And they nailed it. But, like, my god, I just hate that movie so much. Oh, no, hate. I shouldn't say hate. I really don't like it. Hate is a strong word. Man, why is this? That's better. Chappie, not for everyone. I am not a happy chappie. I really like District 9. Like, District 9's a banger. 6.8 out of 10 on IMDb. Haven't seen it myself. Like... it's kind of an enjoyable watch. There's just some themes in it that are like really, like I just don't know why they went with it. There's ideas of like transferring consciousness and stuff in it, and the ending sort of like based on that is just strange. Okay, where is this rogue vertex? Fucking bronze, man. They pop like popcorn. Sholto Copley. He is the GOAT. The one thing, like I've heard Blomkamp is very good to work for because he has a background in visual effects. Like he went to visual effects school and everything, and like I think the moose in Chappie, he actually designed himself. Like, it's obviously very based on the ED-209 from RoboCop, but, like, he sketched it out himself and everything. Like, generally, directors and, you know, producers or whatever, like, who have gone to art school are generally, like, the best people to work for. Like, some of my friends, I used to work at Method Studios Melbourne, which used to be called Ilura, it's now called Framestore. And they've worked on, like, all the Ted movies, like, all of Seth MacFarlane's movies, like Ted, 100 Ways to Die in the West, or whatever it's called. And apparently Seth MacFarlane is, like, the most lovely guy to work for. Like, he tells you exactly what he wants, he knows how to get it, and as soon as you hit it, he's like, great, perfect, done, let's lock it off, sort of thing. Because, like, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Seth MacFarlane's humor, but he sounds like I wouldn't mind working on a movie like that. Would be very interesting how he would have tackled the Alien franchise. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think when he's given stuff that he hasn't, like, written himself, like District 9 I don't think he wrote, so I think that might be one of the reasons why it works so well. Like, let him focus on the visuals and the cool, like, production design and everything. Like, have you guys seen The Creator? The movie that came out last year with all the robots and stuff in it? I'm gonna find some music I can just leave on. Like, I saw The Creator last year, and I love that, yeah, Gareth Edwards, the guy who did, like, Rogue One and stuff. Like, I love that The Creator exists, but I did not like the movie. It's basically concept art, the movie. Like, all the visuals and stuff in it are so cool, and, like, all the robot designs are awesome and everything, but there's nothing, there's no, that, like, the story just isn't there to hold it all together. But I'm so happy, like, it's an original sci-fi story that exists in the year 2023. Like, so yeah, I'm glad it exists, but yeah, it did not appeal to me, unfortunately. Must genuinely love what they do if they're a pleasure to work with. Yeah, exactly. Like, I think Seth MacFarlane loves what he does. Like, I haven't seen it personally, but, like, the Orville, the sort of, like, Star Trek-y show that he made, like, apparently Star Trek fans like it better than, like, modern-day Star Trek, because it kind of, like, it hits those old notes that they miss from, like, Next Gen and those older sort of shows. So he's got, like, a lot of love for the things that he works on, you know? Which is good. Actually having an idea before you make something and, like, working towards finalizing that idea, it's crazy. Modern films these days, you just film stuff and try and make a story out of it if you can. Actually, folks, I am out of tea. I need to go get some more. I will be back in just a second. I'll pop it over to the BRB screen and just run a 1-minute ad break. So I will be back in, give me like a minute or two. I'll see you in a sec. And we back. Filled up my Simpsons mug. Drinking delicious pu'er tea. Classic Chinese black tea. Which is probably a terrible idea to be drinking it at 9:30 at night because I will be wired and unable to sleep for several hours, but whatever. Gotta have something to drink. Gotta do something until bingo. Then let's go. By the way, to the new people to the stream as well, we love vanilla ice in this stream.
Yo, man, that's a great philosophy, but like, can you put it back together with quickness?
If you have not seen his smash hit film Cool as Ice, definitely should.
Words of wisdom. Drop that zero and get with the hero.
And we can see my wonderful Cool as Ice poster that I have on my wall behind me.
Why would they come to our concert just to
Thank you
boo
very
us?
much for the follow, Sarah. Sarah3. Sarah4H3, if I want to get technical about it, but thank you very much for following. Someone recommended The Creator because it was awesome, but I also felt it was lacking something. Do you know what that something was, Hit the Road? Did you have like a sense of it, or you couldn't like place it? You couldn't like put your finger on it, sort of thing? Now with this voice, I need to make sure that it's the same as this one. Let me copy that. Really easy way in Maya to check if something has the same vert order is just select the mesh like the other one. Rigging, deform, blend shape, activate that blend shape. Yeah, that is definitely the wrong vert order. In fact. I'm not sure why the vert order keeps changing. I must have, like, the subdivisions I used for one or the other must be wrong. But that's easy enough to fix. All we need to do, I believe, let's have both of them selected, both be in vertex mode. You can go to modeling, transfer vertex order. So you select 3 verts on the mesh that you want to transfer the vertex order from. So 1, 2, 3, got to be part of the same polygon. Then we select the same one from the other mesh. 1, 2, 3, and it should transfer over. And now, if we blend shape, let's see. Yeah, there we go. That's better. Cool. So that'll mean now when I load the skin cluster on, it will be correct. Because the skin cluster loads on per vertex, so we need to make sure the same vert or is the other one. Definitely wasn't visual. I think just story-based. Clearly, you're a Red Moon enjoyer instead. I think, yeah, like the creator... Oh, Rebel Moon. Yeah. I haven't watched Rebel Moon. I've heard people say it's like a wonderful clusterfuck. Oh, so you know what I watched or tried to watch on the weekend? My partner and I were watching... we made a note that we wanted to watch the Highlander series, because I haven't seen the original Highlander since I was like a kid. So we watched Highlander 1. And it was like, it's fine. It's very of its time, but it's like an enjoyable enough movie. Terrible Scottish accents. But then the second one, Highlander 2, it's insane. It's like such a left turn. Like, it's one of those movies that has notoriety for being like the worst movie ever made. And it's like, it's tough for me to like hate a movie. I love watching shit. Like, I love Cool as Ice. But my god, Highlander 2. Nothing in it makes any sense. And I think we're watching the director's cut as well, where they like reworked some things to try and make it make sense. Like in the original, like they're aliens from some planet, and they're like sent. The Highlanders, the Immortals are sent from that planet. It's like it's insane. Sean Connery comes back from the dead. Spoilers. I'm spoiling all of Highlander 1 and 2 for everybody, but I'm sure you're all dying to see it. not symmetrize this? Why is that? I must have not symmetrized it. That's better. Ooh, yeah, okay. Yeah, way better. You've seen it many times, Steve? Seriously? Good lord, man. You have better endurance than I have. My, like, jaw was on the floor. I couldn't believe what was happening. Like, Michael Ironside comes in and he's, like, driving a train. But, like, how does he know what a train is? And he's, like, making jokes like, next stop's yours or whatever. And he's like, how does he know what a stop was? Sean Connery comes back and he's like, what's a shithead? But, like, Michael Ironside knows what a train is. And it's logical consistency. Ramirez? Sean Connery's name? Is it Ramirez? Is that who you're talking about? Or are you talking about General Katana? Oh, yeah. Yeah. He's named after a sword. If you've seen Samurai Cop, what does katana mean? It means Japanese sword. Okay, so... Another handy thing, if you didn't know as well, for all you Maya users. If you have a higher resolution mesh that still has the same vertex order as the one below it, like the lower resolution, you can still blend shape them. Now let's see if that works. Yeah, I can blend shape this to pull the verts so they match the higher resolution one. So we can transfer very easily in the future if need be. It's GG-ery. Welcome, welcome. It's GG-ery. Like, who's that? I know, I recognize the name, but I think I've forgotten, because I'm terrible. I definitely recognize it from somewhere, though. Is that Ishmael? I'm going out on a limb. Okay, let's get these transfer meshes updated. So I'm going to make sure this file is saved. And let's go into the transfer file. Let's import that in. And make sure these ones are updated. Nice to see streaming again. Haven't seen you for a while. Yeah, like, I've just been busy. That's like just it. Like, I've gotten very consistent freelance work over the last year. Definitely cannot complain. And it just means like having consistent a consistent screaming schedule would definitely be something, but a consistent streaming schedule is unfortunately quite tricky to do whilst I'm doing freelance work at the same time. But I thought tonight, because I had some stuff that I wanted to do, like just centralize some code and fix up some things to do with this face transfer, I thought, why not just stream it at the same time? Just kind of hang out, chat to everyone, see what everyone's been up to. Okay. Joe, my man, welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you doing, good sir? Look at all these people. What the fuck, Robbie? You famous now or something? So Joe, like, somebody came in like 15 minutes, 20 minutes ago with a raid of 100 people. So that's why there is so many people in here. I'm pretty sure most like rigging cannot attract that many people naturally. So. If I stop talking, I've fallen asleep. Got to lurk. Catch you some other time. Bye, everyone. Thank you very much for joining Hit the Road. Appreciate you having a bit of a chat. Always fun to talk to people about their interest in movies and things. What a wonderful raid. Do you remember who it was? Yes. What was her name? Jitspoe? Jitspoe. Oh, and Loic. Man, everybody is coming in at this moment. Welcome, welcome, everybody. There's dozens of us. Dozens. That's a Arrested Development quote, right? For never nudes. Is that what you're referencing? Oh, and Alchemy Sheep as well. Yes, don't forget Alchemy Sheep. Alchemy Sheep also raided us earlier on. So I've had 2 raids tonight. I really need to find out how to raid. I don't actually know how to do it, and I always feel guilty at the end of every stream when I have, like, viewers and I don't know, like, how to do it. I am such, like, a boomer.
How do you use this calculator? What's all this?
I'm like one of the old people who have to have their glasses on and, like, pull it down when you're reading the phone. Raj, welcome, welcome. Or Roge. Roge 1. Raj 1. It was a raid train. Some of us from that stream came from Dev Spagus. Man, there's so many, like... I just love how there's so many people just creating stuff on Twitch. It's really, really cool. It's in, like, everybody, like, hops from one creative thing to the other. Okay, yeah, so end of the stream. You guys have to remind me. I gotta figure out how to raid. You can do it from the creator dashboard. You should have a button in the quick actions. Cool, okay. We'll need to make sure. I'm still gonna be going for a while, I think. Normally I start streaming about this time, but I started early tonight, so we'll see how long I can last. Wow, you're like the first one to say my name right. Which was the one that I said correctly, though? Roj. Roge. Updated face masks. Alright, so let's do a rebuild and see if all the skin clusters load up. Haha! I need a command for the waiting game. And now we play the waiting game. The waiting game sucks. Let's play Hungry Hungry Hippos.
Now, boys and girls, who knows what this is?
Triangle. Alright, let's take out all of these. We got the body. And we've got the properly matched eye now. Alright, that's feeling a bit better. But I'm gonna have an inkling that this blink isn't gonna be working too good. Yeah, I think it's just too different to the previous one. But that's okay. We have a candidate to do some skinning refinements on. How do I say which one is right? Not like Roach, but the other one. Raj. Raj? I'm just going to keep saying Raj, and if that one's wrong, you can tell me. You don't win friends with salad. You don't win friends with salad. Yeah, Octo, if you go to my bio, I think on my Twitch page, I've got like a long list of commands, and you can see a bunch of Simpsons ones there. I don't even remember what they are, actually, half the time, because I've added so many damn Simpsons coins.
I'm seeing double here. 4 crusties.
We also have a bunch of sounds as well. Oh, that was a good one.
Oh.
Basically, I want to try and make the most annoying stream possible. So if people fall asleep, they wake up in a sweaty fit.
Why is somebody playing Disturbed?
Alright, how is the... I definitely need to reorient this. Because pulling that out... Yeah. Ideally, I want this to be oriented, like, nicely that way. Right, we're in world space. Yeah, see? Hit the road's trying to sleep. Every so often, we're just going to chime in with a really loud sound. Hit the road. Actually, that happens to me. Sometimes I'm just chilling, like, in a pretty quiet stream, and somebody will come in and just play that sound, and I'll, like, fucking jump out of my skin. I hope I don't have spam rights. I have absolutely no restrictions, Octo. Probably a stupid idea, but, you know. Yeah, I've got a bunch of them. Alright, time to load on the NG skin cluster, I think. And do some refinements. So, we want to go to face transfer, and we want to grab this NG skin cluster. Oh god, I hate this up. I really need like a better playlist for all my songs. I always like jump around way too much. Oh, hold on. Do I have gas? Oh, yeah. Just wait, though. My car.
Hush, field trip boy.
I did not load on the NG skin cool. Lord save me.
Who are these people?
The thing is, like, guys, I save these videos, I put them up on, like, YouTube, so people can, like, watch the stream in their own time, because, like, most of the time the American audience is, like, asleep. And, like, it must be so weird. You're just, like, kind of watching or listening to this in the background, and all of a sudden these random sound effects just come up on the screen.
Now you play good, Pinicio, and don't you lie.
I promise I will never hurt you.
Oh, shit. Where are the eyelids? Is that the eyelids? Yeah, it must be. I'll be your hero. Let's get some keys. Do you like my car? So with these blinks, these are determined by rotation. Actually, why am do I need to do rotation? I've got a blink attribute here. Yeah, I kind of do need to make sure they sort of like match. Oh, this is going to be interesting actually. It's kind of an interesting shaped eyeball. Because we've got 3 joints. Actually, before I explain that, let me put on some other song. Because this is about to end. I made a bot myself and loaded a shitload of sounds, mainly from games or the IT crowd. See, like, it's good just to have, like... I like having random sounds. It just makes me laugh. It's like all the Simpsons quotes that make me laugh without fail. As well as the Austin Powers ones now. And Cool as Ice. What's the point in streaming if you're not going to have fun, right? Now, man, you surely know, but you good at 3D stuff. Thank you very much. It's only because I've been doing it for so long, Doggo. If you're not having fun, why bother? Exactly. I wouldn't be streaming if I didn't have fun with you guys. See, we need to sort of like lower. Basically, like, we want these lids to make a really nice seal. So we can sort of like fuck around with the skinning a little bit on these joints. So like the way these eyelids work is we have joints 1, 2, 3. Like theoretically you could get away with just having one and just sort of like manipulating the skinning based on that. But the nice option with having more than one joint is I can add these like secondary controls, right? So if an animator really wants to go into detail and sort of like really sculpt sort of like the eyelid, you know, because sometimes like some characters don't have eyebrows, so it's really hard to make like an angry shape if you don't have eyebrows. So you can sort of like create like an angry curve, you know, yourself. So like if you're really needing to scrape and like not use a ton of joints, you can get away with just having like one joint for the upper and lower lids. But yeah, it's like, there's only about 70, yeah, I think, what did we find out earlier? 75 joints in this face. So we can deal with it. It just means we got to be a little bit more precise with our skinning. Because I think what I can do, oh boy. What do I normally put it on? Let's go grab a few of these loops. Whoa! Okay, that didn't work as I wanted it to. No, we don't want to scale it down to 10%. We want to scale it down to 90%. Yeah, so we can quickly use these tools to kind of just like, boom, just sort of like get a nicer seal along the lid. Knowing that I know nothing about rigging, the outer edge of the eyes look a bit weird to me so far down. Yes, that's what we're trying to fix, Sarah. Like, right now, there's like this weird overlap, right? We're getting like this weird sort of like shape. So what we want to do is create like a nicer seal. It's right now just because I'm loading on skinning from another character, and we're just seeing like how much of that we can sort of like use. So it's just going to take a little bit to sort of get rid of it, I suppose, or fix it up. Yeah. We can just kind of fiddle around with some of it until it looks like it makes sense. We also need to, actually, while I'm doing this, I need to make sure that we are set to 4 max influences as well. Just to make sure I am not screwing myself for later. So what I'm doing is, if I goes away from a joint, I can select this edge loop, convert it to vertices. I can go into the weight painting tool I have here, NG Skin Tools. If you're a Maya user and you don't use NG Skin Tools, you absolutely should. It's one of the best applications you can use for Maya. But I can scale down the amount of weight from this joint that's influencing this area. So I can scale it down 95% each time. So I just kind of like hit that a few times just to like slowly nudge it into a place that I think looks a little bit better. So I'm probably not going to go into as much detail as I probably should, just because it's a stream, and I'd probably be a bit more pedantic if I was doing this for my day job. But we can get something that's looking a bit better. I mean, otherwise I'm just going to be here, like, fiddling with skin weights the entire night, and I'm sure that's going to... I mean, if Hit the Road is not asleep already, they definitely will be watching me do that. Let's grab these ones and maybe up them a little bit. Oop. Really? That much is... I need like a hotkey for changing these values. Yeah, that's better. Boom. Oops, is that how I have not saved this? Then let's go. I gotta go. Have a great rest of the stream. Thank you very much for staying and chatting, Dr. Octo. Hope you learned some stuff. Hope it was interesting. Hope to catch you in the stream in the future. Have a good day, evening, night, wherever you may be. That's a task done off screen while watching a video on the side, I imagine. Oh yeah, skinning is one of those things. I find, like, skinning very relaxing. Like, I can pop on Red Letter Media or something like that, watch one of their videos, and just kind of, like, zone out as I sort of fix up individual areas. But I know a lot of people hate skinning. I think largely just because, like, Maya's native tools are pretty lousy when it comes to, like, making it easy. Yeah, if you use something like NG Skin Tools, because you can, like, layer your skin clusters, it just makes it, like, oh, it's just so good. I love it. Really interesting. Catch you later. Hopped in Discord. Oh, awesome. Yeah, thank you very much for dropping by. And, yeah, hopefully see you again in whenever I stream next. Who knows when that may be. Last time I streamed was in December, just before I left for some holidays. So, yeah. I want to try and stream a little bit more frequently. It's not going to be like an every week sort of thing, but I don't know, once a month, once every fortnight, something like that. It just depends, because sometimes I have to work evenings as well on different projects, so, yeah. I got no time. I'm a busy man. Oh, hurry up, I'm a busy man. That's a Simpsons quote. Ooh, this lid's gonna be nasty. I think the reason this section of the eye is so messed up is the character that I transferred from does not have a caruncle, like this little fleshy bit on the inner part of the eye. So I think it's just like the weighting that I did in that zone was not as useful. No thing though. Easy enough to edit these. Ah! Oh boy, I just did something wrong. Oh, I really need to save this as well, because I do not want this to explode. New face, lid scan. What other... what have we got? Oh, damn, I should have used this one when Octo left. I gotta remember to use this one.
Well, see ya.
Budget cutbacks have caused us to remove anything the least bit entertaining. There we go. That's almost like we don't need any influence on that one. Ooh. I'll stay. I suggest you hit, sir. I also like to live dangerously. Okay, we're getting like this seal. You can, yeah. I think what you were saying, Sarah, it's definitely right. I think like we've definitely improved. I think you were talking about this sort of like all this weird geo that was sort of like folding into that area, right? Hopefully this should be mighty improved since then. Cool. And then the other problem is we need to do it with the bottom as well. Great. Great. Because then what you can do, the whole idea behind this system, right, is like these joints are rotating around a center point. So you get this nice pure rotation for free, just to like have the skin move around the eyeballs for free. What I use is like curves along. Yeah, I mean, actually, God, I haven't updated these curves as well. I might need to do that. Hopefully that doesn't fuck things up too much. Yeah, rats. I didn't say anything about eyelids because I knew you would fix it. Yeah. This is like, I wouldn't be... That's the problem, right? This is a problem with me. Like, I've been saying for years that I really want to release, like, rigs online for free that people can use. And I never do because when I end up finishing the rig, I'm never happy with the quality of it. Because I'm like, no, it doesn't represent me well and everything. Like... remember like at the start of like last year when I was doing that 1 hour crab, like well, we got stuff done in an hour or 2 hours on that character, like it was super great, but I never ended up releasing it because I was like, oh no, I could do this a little bit better, oh I could do this a little bit better. Like it's a problem I've had since I was like a teenager. I just need to commit to something and actually just get it out. Nice thing is when you work for a client is you have a deadline. So, what's the phrase? Perfection is the enemy of good, or something like that. But if you make free, you don't have to worry about quality. Oh, jeez. Throwing down, man. You're gonna get me in trouble here. People are gonna start, like, rage tweeting me. There was one time, okay, like... Nothing against Blender. I love Blender. But there was one time I posted, like, on Twitter, I had, like, my little, I had, like, a collection of Maya icons. And I just said, I've got, like, way too many Maya icons on my desktop. And there was just a bunch of people I didn't know coming into my tweet being like, yeah, you should get rid of all of them, or they belong in the trash, or whatever. Like, everybody made the same joke, like, 10 times. And I just, like, fucking muted the thing. Like, it was the most annoying thing I've ever experienced on that platform before. In France, we say better is the enemy of good. Ooh, I like that. You say impossible n'est pas français. That's what my friend at bouldering taught me. Impossible n'est pas français, right? Have I said that on screen? I said that on stream before. I can't remember. I remember as soon as he taught me that, like I kept saying it over and over again, along with swearing in French. Need subtitles for this stream now. All you need to do is learn French, man. How hard can it possibly be to learn a foreign language? Jeez. Wasabi Cheetah. I already got my rig fleshed out and my model is just needing some cleanup on the eye area shape keys. But I'm wanting to ask what are some general rigging tips that most beginners overlook. I was given some rigging tips from another stream about control sizes, but just wondering about close-up stuff, like when it comes to the face details. Oh, so hi. Hello, Wasabi Cheetah. Have you been in the stream before? It doesn't say you're a new chatter, so it's I must have seen you in here before, right? So, face rigs can be... what's the best way to say it? They're very open-ended. Like, body rigging and face rigging can almost be like 2 separate streams. In fact, at some studios, they are 2 separate streams. Like, Weta has an entire department that's entirely devoted to just face rigs. When I worked at NPC, like, the face, all the face shapes were taken care of by a separate modeling department that was dedicated just to face shapes. So, generally, the way I like to work is I like to have joints as a basis, just because I'm not as skilled at sculpting. Like, I can definitely sculpt and everything, but I'm not as fast as it. And the nice thing about using joints and such, as like we're seeing here, is I can reuse them in different situations. Like, I can copy from one character to another and sort of like rework the skinning to make it work for this character with just like a little bit of effort. It also kind of comes down, like, I mean, nothing against like blend shapes, right? But it's sort of like, it's a little bit of a different way of working. And it kind of comes down to, I guess, the needs of the project. Like, if you're doing a hyper-realistic, need individual, poor detail on the characters, like, generally, sculpt's the way to go for that, because, like, you need that finite detail, which you probably can't get as easily with a bunch of joints. Whereas, conversely, if you're doing, like, a cartoon character, joints might be the way to go, because there may be an instance where the animator is like, oh, I really just want to, like, pull the mouth out a little bit, but I can't do it with all the shape keys, with all the blend shapes that have been set up. So, like, joints in that situation are better. The shape keys are for character customization. Interesting. That does, like, is the character's facial structure changing at all? Because if you change the structure of the face too much and you have some existing, like, blinks and things, that may create some issues. Because, like, the deltas that work with one of the faces may not work with one of the others. Yes. I'd almost say, like, is this a character that has to be, like, there's, like, levels? Well, not levels. But say you have, like, face A and face B. Are you wanting the animators to be able to go to, like, the middle point, face, like, AB, like, in the middle, 50-50 blend? Or is it only going to be, like, one character, like, toggling on and off the different levels, the different shapes? Because I'd almost say, like, you'd want to re-extract and clean up the shapes for each version of the character. That might be better. Because there's just a lot of variables that come from, yeah, like, the middle portion of things. Like, it's not actually too difficult to transfer shapes from one character to another. You can use, like, just a very simple blend shape trick to sort of, like, re-export them all. Yeah, that's tricky. So you're a beginner who's trying to do, like, a complicated character customization setup with a face rig. That's bold. That's bold. But I like it. I like it. Never shy away from challenges, people. That's what I say. That's where, like, that's the stuff I enjoy the most. Like, I could batch do, like, 100 digi-doubles, but, like, bespoke characters with unique challenges, like, that's always the most interesting thing. To me, anyway. You gotta learn to sprint before you crawl or something. What is it? Out of the frying pan and into the sauna? Or thrown in the deep end, learn how to swim? Gotta break a few omelets to make a few eggs or something? More platitudes, more platitudes. Is that a, it's not even, that's not a platitude. What is a platitude? Into the belly of the beast. Yeah, there we go. Get in my belly. I believe that's another thing that people say. It looks like a baby. He weighs a metric ton. His name, Fat Bastard. Ooh. Maybe not to Dar. I am low on tea again, guys. I'm gonna have to do another break in a second. I cannot work without my tea. Guys, the eyelids are working a little bit better now. Yeah. Getting a nice seal. So then, I've got this neat little attribute on this control, oops, where we've got the blink, so you can just kind of like dial these in together. It's a little bit of overlap, but that's not too bad. Just don't have to activate the shape as much. And with that, what you can do is you can toggle the meet point to be at the base or like at the top or whatever, and then the blink just immediately goes to that place. So we've got to add a kind of realistic point where it's like a less bottom lid movement. Actually, one thing I haven't checked, I don't even know if this is working with the eyes. Like, if it actually wraps around the eyes. That might be something to worry about. Oh, it does, thank the Lord. There's maybe a bit too much, like, lower lid movement on that blink. Let's toggle it to, like, 0.9. Hey, presto. So we got blinks that used to look like that, which now look like this, with a little bit of skinning modification. This kind of eyelid, I feel that's how I feel when I wake up in the morning and I've slept like 6 hours. I need my 8 hours. One day Austin Powers will return to us all. Joe, like, what was it, a month ago or something, a few months ago? I went to the Austin Powers trilogy marathon at the Lido, and it was so good. Well, it was so good up until the last one, and then just sort of wanted to leave because I was tired and had been sitting down for too long. And they closed the bar, so couldn't even get stuff at the... Couldn't even drink our sorrows away. It's terrible. Should make another Austin Powers, but Mike Myers plays every role in the movie. Mike Myers, like, did like a... I think they did like a Austin Powers thing on SNL or something not too long ago. I don't think it's not the same anymore, man. It wasn't even the same in like Goldmember. Goldmember was weird if you look at it in against the totality of everything of those movies. Yeah, the lower lip barely moves when you blink. It slides towards the inner eye. The lower lid barely moves up when you blink. It slides towards the inner. Yeah, it's sort of like an inner sort of thing, isn't it? I remember, oh, what movie were we working on? Was it Lyle Crocodile or something? Yeah, like I had one of the riggers on that show spent like days just trying to get a really solid looking blink shape working, where the lower lid just sort of like kind of moves inward, has that sort of motion, you know? It is a tough thing to get right, and not something I can get right with my joint setup, unfortunately. I mean, technically, maybe I could. If it's sort of like blinking, and then you grab that and sort of like pull it in a bit or something. Yeah, Austin Powers was in the early 2000s. Austin Powers in the early 2000s is built different. So I think the first one was like 97, then 2 was 99, and then 3 was 2003. Yeah, it was 2003 because I saw it for my 13th birthday. And that was like the last time I saw it. So my setup is blending between A and B. I'm doing the cleanup work for the shape keys, but much of the important areas for animation remain as merely morphed. So the only thing that I'm dodging from messing with heavily is mouth for movement, eyelids for blinking. Yeah, okay, cool. Breaths for frowning. So my setup is meant to be for up-close face manipulation, yet offer some sense of facial expressions. Cool. But I was asking a pro rigger just in case I missed anything. Well, thank you very much for calling me a pro rigger. Yeah, I think it sounds like you've got a good idea of what you need to do and how to approach it. Miriam in chat, Loic, he's an expert on face shapes as well, so I'm sure he can give you the skinny on that stuff as well. Yeah, are there anything to like... I guess how are you doing the controls? Are you doing like a GUI off to the side? Are you doing controls on the face to sort of manipulate things around? Because there's like pros and cons. Like one thing, NPCs, face rigs, right? It's fax-based. So they'll have controls on the face, but they can only move in one direction, and that activates a shape. It was like this weird system where like the controls were riveted to the face, so when you moved them, they moved with the face, but they were also deforming the face, so it was like a cyclical system. It was slow as shit. I'd honestly say, like, just having a GUI off to the side, like, it's pretty standard. Like, Advanced Skeleton uses that. Even Unreal, what's it called? MetaHuman? They've got like the 3 lateral face rig GUI off to the side, you know? Like, yeah, it sort of depends. One of my, like, pet peeves, guys, one of my pet peeves is when I see people on LinkedIn do controls, like, there was that one video that Pixar did where it showed, like, the behind the scenes on Monsters University or whatever, and how it, like, to grab an arm, you could just select the geometry, and it would, like, select everything, you could sort of see the controls. I hate when people try and recreate that kind of thing and don't take into account, like, how that extra deformation would potentially slow down the rig. Like, there's a reason we use controls, because they're easily selectable, they're light, you can turn them off very easily, and it doesn't really have to be intuitive. It does have to be intuitive, to a degree, right? Like, you put a control in an area, and, like, instinctively you know it's going to do something in that area. Whereas, like, the sort of, like, geometry as a control sort of thing, like, slows down the rig. You have to take into account, so, okay, yeah, copy the skinning across or whatever. What if, you know, you add blend shapes? What if you add other deformers on top? All of a sudden, stacking that stuff becomes a problem. And when you've got, like, 50 different controls in your character, that's going to be a problem. So, like, I'm all for that kind of stuff. If people want to try and make that kind of stuff, cool. But I want to see profile and see how fast the rig is with and without those setups. Because Pixar, at the end of the day, they still have a toggle control where you can toggle back to, like, standard control structures. Yeah. I don't know why. It just every time I see it, I'm just like, oh, it's gonna miss. Because the thing is, like, Maya did add something like that as well, where, like, you can tag something as a control, and depending on whether your mouse gets close to it or not, it'll, like, disappear. But that is annoying. Ooh, thank you very much for following YT Puffermint. YouTube Puffermint. Thank you very much for the follow. Feel free to introduce yourself in chat, say howdy, tell us what you're doing, what you're up to. Halo. I'm just gonna say that for everything. I'm just gonna say that for everything in the rest of the stream. What, Pixar, like something built different? X built different, sort of thing? I am a fish. Interesting. What kind of fish are you, Puffermint? A puffermint, as in like a pufferfish, but minty? Pufferfish, yes. Or as we call them in Australia, blowies. Slightly unfortunate name. What was I doing? What was I doing, guys? Before I went off on my mad rant. eyelid stuff. Okay, we got that sorted-ish. Nose is fine. We got enough movement there. There's a bit of crunchiness thanks to the Formax influences. That's something I want to buff out. I was talking about this at the start of the stream as well. Like, I don't have a joint for the chin because I want to do like a chin razor shape. Well, I don't have the capacity to do that right now. And I think I need to add additional joints for like the lower part of the nasal labial fold and one for the chin because I tried some tests on that earlier. And because there's so many different things fighting for, so many different weights fighting for dominance in that area, it doesn't really work. So I think I need to like add some additional joints to this area to sort of like homogenize everything. Because I want it to be all working with Formax influences. So we can have a pretty decent face rig that can be used for mobile games, indie games, or we can up-res it and do more cool stuff for like higher resolution characters and things. That's the aim of everything. Blowies are built different. Jesus Christ, man. Ooh, who redeemed the Simpsons quote request? Season 7, king-sized Homer. Oh, that's the one where Homer gets stuck in... He gains weight, right? To go on disability. Oh. Oh, what's a good quote from that episode? My dad's not some food-crazed maniac. Oh, that's raspberry. Oh. Use your left hawk, aerate. Raise your right hawk, aerate. I want to see more Teddy Roosevelts and less Franklin Roosevelts, thank you. Smithers, who is this gastropod? Hey, Flanders, bad day at the rat races? Yeah, a homeless guy started shooting a bunch of people, and the subway ran over my hat. Hey man, would you like some blowies? The Adamos. Thank you for the specification, Puppermint. Oh, the any key! How did I forget the any key? Thank you for waking up to say that hit the road. Very, very important. That's a good episode. I see Esk and Catarl. And Pig Up. I need to get... I've seen people wear the Homer Moo that he wears in that episode with all the flowers and stuff on it. Like, I want that shirt so bad. I have a lot of Simpsons shirts, but I don't have that. I did say a while ago I was going to get more tea, so I'm going to go do that now. I will pop on the BRB screen and be back in about 2 minutes, folks. I will see you very shortly. And we're back.
Stupid bird! I should have never put you in charge.
I'm planning to have a face, face controls, by the way. I don't know about a GUI, but I should defo work on and off buttons of sorts, just so that those controls become non-clickable. I want the animation workflow to be immersive in that sense. Have you talked to your animator about that, Wasabi Cheetah? Like, generally, like, what's the best way to put it? Because essentially, like, depending on the workflow your animator likes, like, generally that's the best way to go, right? One of the problems with being a freelance rigger is you work for people who have, you have no animation supervisor, you are the animator. So perfect then, you can choose the system that you like. Yeah, because like, as a freelancer, you have to sort of like adapt to the projects that you work on, right? So I work with a lot of animators, and I quickly found the system that my animators liked at Method completely different to all the other systems that the animators I've worked with since have liked. You know, I've got animators who like using these controls in the face. I've had animators who prefer to have a GUI to like do some quick like animation and stuff. So the eternal curse of being a freelancer who's trying to please everybody is I want to add all of these aspects to my characters. But the nice thing about that is if you kind of keep that open-endedness, it means you can like personalize your rigs based on the needs of the project, and that can become quite valuable because animators want to work in the way that is most efficient and suitable for them, as they rightfully should. So yeah, just sometimes having that communication and everything is super useful. That's why I think animators and riggers should not be enemies. They should be friends, should talk and hang out and everything. It's also good to have done some animation, like yourself, you know, to put yourself in their shoes so you know how they feel. When you get a rig that runs at 3 FPS, you want to murder whoever made that character. I know, because I've been in that position. Okay. How's the cheek going? That's puffing alright. Yeah, I'm not really happy with the sort of cheek controls that I've got here. I've sort of been tossing up if I want like 1 or 2. These are definitely up too high as well. These need to be like down here. Because I feel like splitting them up can be useful to get that sort of like pinching effect. I need to study more face movement just to really decide what I want to do there. But yeah, I need to fix those. I need to do something with the chin. This is me thinking out loud. This is not stuff I'm going to be doing in the stream. Just stuff that I want to do for the future. But what I can do is I need to reorient some of these controls so I can make that work a bit better. Alright, let me save this. Do I want to do anything else with the skidding for now? Oh, you know what I need to do? Okay, guys, so list of things to do. Need to update the eyelid curve positions, both upper and lower. Need to update these lip curve positions. You can see the joints aren't really in a great position right now. I'd rather have them sort of inside the lip fat, like in the middle, so you can do nicer things like curl the lips, roll the lips, I should say. And it's not really great when they're around the outside like that. I do have lip roll. Yeah, it's looking a bit weird. Would be a bit better, I think, if it was in the middle. Lip push as well, yep. So update the curves and update some of the positions of all of these controls. So we'll make sure we save out the skin cluster. We've updated all of this stuff. So all we need to do is select this, select transfer my skin up, version 102, yes. This is going to be tweaked skin. Oh, actually, let's do lid skin. So we should have the updated skin cluster, and then we can save an NG. Lovely. So now we need to go into the not transfer, it's guides face. Cool. Actually, now that I've done all the skinning, I can move my tablet out of the way. Now I actually have room to put my tea again. Wunderbar. I might put it on the right side. Easier. Sorry about that. What are we doing? Face stuff. So let's just make sure that's all saved. That's fine. So these are all the different reference things that I use to create the face rig. And you can probably understand, just vaguely from looking at here, what's going on. We use these curves to generate joints along the eyebrow, along the lids and the folds of the eye. These for the lips. We even got one for the tongue. Then we have various points that we use for other parts as well. So we got all the cheek stuff, we got the eyes and all that goodness. So basically, if I want to transfer a face rig to another character, I need to update all these positions. And I think just based on what I've got in here, this might be based on some older stuff. And now that I have updated transfer meshes, we can use this to make something that's a bit more simplified, I think. Oh, did I just reference in the same thing? No. Huh. Yeah, okay, that's a bad idea. Remove that. Okay. What do we do? Transfer, updated face mask. Ah, okay, that was weird. For some reason I imported the wrong thing. We want to find this low res transfer mesh. Let's just do a quick duplicate of that and take it out. So now that we've updated, oh yeah, these are like not really in great positions, are they? So the really nice thing, if you guys aren't familiar, in Maya, is you can select a series of edges, and you can go to, where is it, modify, convert, poly edge to curve, and that'll instantly create a curve along that edge. And this is really useful for creating those curves that I want to use to generate all those joints for us. If you do not use this in your workflow, totally should. The nice thing as well is it's, if you delete the history, like it just becomes a curve. But like if I was to grab these edges and do the same thing, convert, poly edge to curve, it stays live. Like you can see it's got this deformer. So like when I manipulate these vertexes around, this curve follows along with it. So this is a really useful technique if you have like a simplified geometry mesh. You can add a bunch of curves in it, and you can use that to drive a whole bunch of things. Like I use that for dresses and hair and things like that. Very cool technique to use. And quite lightweight as well. Especially if the mesh you're using is low res. Oh, no, wrong one. That's it. Let's make sure we do it on the bottom lid as well. the time? Oh man, it's 10:30. Man, it feels later. I normally stream later, so because I started like an hour and a half earlier than my old time, I'm just going long. Normally I stop about midnight, so let's see how long I can hold out before I die. Release me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's good for the brows. Now with the lips, I do these a little bit differently. Convert these to edges, yes. But with these ones, I manipulate them a little bit myself. So we want to make sure we select both sides, so we do them both evenly. Just kind of clean up the curve a bit. Grab these and kind of pull them into the flesh of the lip a little bit more. Just kind of eyeball it. This one's less precise, and I'm still playing around with this placement a little bit. Definitely wasn't working just having them on the outside, so I think having them more solidly in the volume is a much better solution. And I can sort of like use these CVs and just kind of get a nicer curve. I think should do pretty good. And we do the same thing with the bottom. Let's maybe even those out a bit. Actually, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, not too far down. Cool. So, now we need to rename these. So we got the... So I am fairly reliant on the strings of these, which isn't always the way to go, but it's fine for the sake of this. I'm finding more and more to rely, like, again, this is another issue with freelance stuff, is you always need to remain open-ended to changing the names of things, especially joints. Joint names change per project, like, all the time. Like, you'll either need to use like an Unreal naming system, or you'll need to use a system that they may have used on a previous project or something like that. So you always need to change the joint names. And if you've watched my previous streams, if you've seen my rigs before, you know I like to set different poses for the joints, where you got like a T pose with the arm stretched out, and you know an A pose, the more kind of like natural model pose. And I was setting those poses with metadata based on the names of the joints. So every time the names of those joints changed, and I wanted to maintain the ability to change those poses, you need to update that metadata dictionary. So what I've done instead now is I'm relying on tagging joints with sort of like an original name metadata tag. So no matter what the name of the joint changes to, rather than relying on that string, that joint string, the name string, it's relying on the metadata that is attached to that joint instead. And it's more, like, it's a bit more tedious to set up, but it honestly wasn't too much of a hassle. And that was something I wish I sort of like maybe focused on a bit more, like when I began doing my system, is like focusing more on metadata and less on like naming strings, because those are something that's like I found to be variable. Like might be something similar with like changing control names or whatever, you know. Like when I load up the rig next time, I can show you the metadata stuff and what that does. And by metadata, all I mean is like literally you just have a control, a attribute on your node, your transform. It's a string attribute, so you can put like text and stuff in it. And I just add a dictionary to that string attribute. So you can have something that's ridiculously complex, or you can just have like a very simple like name equals this or whatever, and then you can refer to that. It's like, oh, I'm looking for transforms that have this metadata on it. I'm looking for transformers that have this metadata with this key and this value in it. Like, there's a lot of ways to manipulate that kind of stuff. Like, metadata is very, very useful, even in a simplistic form. So, yeah. Can be a little confusing if you're not, I guess, used to it, but yeah, it becomes something that's very powerful. But like, say for example, because right now, right, with these curves that I'm making, the scripts that I'm using, it knows what curve to build from by the name of the curve, right? But theoretically, rather than doing that, you know, I could use metadata to tag this curve as upper lid curve, and then a script, rather than looking for this name, it could look for that metadata instead. And no matter what this is called, it could be named something completely different, you know, it'll always still find it. So it's like, okay, you're balancing, is like, is it easier just to rename things, the string of the name of the transform, or is it easier to update the metadata? There's probably pros and cons to both, and probably better uses in different scenarios, but yeah, definitely something to keep in mind if it's not something you've used before. Let's see. Oh, actually, before I mirror these, I should probably check they're the right direction as well. Because curves can have different directions. When it has that little U, the square in the U, that means that's the start. So when I look at the CVs here, that's CV0, that's CV1, 2, 3. Quick way to notice which direction that is. So yep, we want it to start from the inner side out. So we can see this one's wrong because it doesn't have the square and the little U. It might be kind of hard to see on the screen, but trust me on that one. If I select these, it's the end of the CVs instead. So all I need to do is go modeling, curves, reverse direction. That one's okay. This one's okay. And for the lips, they start on the left side. That's good. And that one needs reversed. I could also write a script to reverse this if it wasn't already. Like, I could check, like, which CV, you know, the starting CV and end CV, is this one closer to being positive than that one? If not, flip them, things like that. Easy to do, but I mean, a manual update is easy as well. Although I should probably add that script anyway, sort of like a fail-safe, just in case I forget, because, you know, that happens sometimes. Eliminate user error. I mean, I shouldn't be doing that, considering I'm the only user. I should make sure I don't make those errors myself. Oh, and I need to do the brow as well. Not brown, brown, brown. Lisa, you seem to be saying brown a lot. Almost got tenure, too. Oh, my tea's getting cold, guys. Gross. Good gravy. Oh, thank you. It's just brown and water. See, I know what you're talking about. I get that reference. I understood that reference. Okay, we updated those curves. And we need to update the reference surfaces. So you can see this glorious surface that we have here. This is what I use to orient controls. The reason I do this is there's a big, nice, like, uniform block that just kind of has like a nice even rotation around it. So like this would be for positioning things like the eyebrows, right? Because it just like goes around and sort of like conforms to the face. I mean, you could use something like a geometry sort of, you could use the geometry as a reference and do a similar thing, but I just like using a simplified surface. But we want to do the lips a little bit tighter. Let's center that. Where we want to make sure like the surface is kind of like maybe a little bit in more. I think that might be okay. I think it's gonna sort of go out that way. If you think so, like when I'm building these controls, they use these surfaces as a reference. So it'll find like the closest point, make a constraint that like makes a transform on this that sort of like conforms to the contours of the surface. So we can roughly say, like, based on the tangency, you know, it's maybe going to be pointing, like, in this direction, like, out that way. And that's what I want. I want the control to be oriented in a way that you can just grab it and translate it on this axis, and it sort of pushes everything out with it nice and clean. So you're not, it's like one axis, or, you know, two, just up on the y-axis and out on the x-axis. So I think that should work. In fact, oh yeah, I do have that updated in the script. The only other thing would be these controls, which I think are oriented alright. Can maybe... yeah, that one's okay. This one's alright. I think it was these ones, upper ones, that I wasn't too chuffed with. Actually, let me, because this is a working file, let's just save file quickly. Face rig, references, and we'll save this as Maya file. Updating reference positions. I beat you to it. I take solace in my victory, Steve.
And oh, Lord save me.
I'm sick of these songs, God.
Damn it!
That'll definitely wake up, Hit the Road. Oh, that's a good one.
It's been.
It's been. So I'm gonna put it maybe where. That's definitely up too high. Damn, I actually kind of want to put it a little bit down more.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Real trap shit. Whatever happened to trap music? It used to be so big, like literally a decade ago. I remember listening to it when I was in like, when I was working in Beijing. I was big into it back then. I used to go clubbing a lot, and there would be like trap music clubs. That and dubstep and stuff. I think I like the commands that have damn in it. Damn it, damn, son. Where's my toothpick? Now, because I've updated these on this side, and I can't just mirror these because they need to make sure they follow the same direction, I believe I've got some new scripts. Mirror transforms across axis with aim. I think I just have to click 1, 2, and then... Ooh. Ooh. Oh, that's right. I just need to duplicate these, and then it'll mirror them. Yeah. Cool. I forgot how to do it. LREF1. Cool. And then we just hit that mirror. Boom. And then mirrored over. The reason I can't just do like a standard, like put them in a group and scale them or whatever to mirror them over is because I need to make sure that you can see the red x-axis is following in the same direction and the green is pointing out and everything, so I need to make sure that's maintained. So I just do a mirror with aiming and things, and that seems to work out best. I mean, you probably could use a group, scale them over. Could you actually? Duplicate, group that. Not on the y-axis, it is on the x-axis. But then you need to like scale it or rotate it the right way. Where is that one? Yeah, because you need to scale on that and that. Nope. Why? Yeah, see, I can't be fucked doing that. This is a whole thing, so aiming is fine. Aiming mirror. And by aiming mirror, all I mean is that like I create an up vector, I create a target vector, mirror those vectors over to the other side and make sure the aim is going in the same direction, so it just like flips it over. Easy. There's probably a math way to do it, but I did not do it. Oh yeah, I've got this. Is that the jaw? No, it's a jaw. I swear I had like a chin locator in here as well. Ha! Maybe not. Hmm? Let's get rid of this. Save that and let us save a new file. Updated positions. Ring ding ding. And we'll do a rebuild. I think I'm close to maybe being done for the evening. We'll do a build. And we'll maybe see if we can transfer all of these skin clusters, provided they all work in a decent way now, over to the final mesh. Oh, what is not there? Ooh, have I not renamed something? Grab a position as well. Hey, I haven't reset the error counter for a while. I can't remember how to reset the error counter. It's been too long since I've done it. Is it like error clear or something? Whatever. I need to go into this. So something is not named correctly. Is something not named correctly? I should probably have paid attention to the error. Let's do that again. Let's try that again. No objects to duplicate. Oh. Oh, it's the tongue. Wait, did I delete the tongue? I'm a dummy. Well, I'm an idiot. Damn it, I spelled it wrong. I'm a double idiot.
Well, I'm an idiot.
Ready to deliver. When you deadline. Save over that. That should work now.
Well, calls for a celebration.
Celebrate. I will. Mr. Gore, somebody finally bought a copy of your book, sir.
Yo, man, that's a great philosophy, but like, can you put it back
together with quickness? You know, there was one thing in Cool as Ice that if you've seen that movie, he rides a motorbike. The motorbike changes color throughout the movie. It goes from lime green to yellow because the movie is so hyper saturated. At different points in the movie, they like saturate at different colors, so it's like off. And I never actually knew what the real color of his bike was until I got the poster. Because the poster, can you see? The bike is yellow. The bike is yellow. The pen is blue. The goddamn pen is blue. All right. Oh, hold on. Where is that not working? Man, I haven't, like, not changed any of this code tonight. Don't have any updates. Where is that? Face rig. Applied lips. Yeah, okay, it's using the wrong surface, that's why. Like, the control hasn't been oriented. I was like, why hasn't it been oriented? It's because it's using the other surface. It's using the top one instead of the bottom one. Actually, let's see if the eyelids still hold up. Hopefully. Oh, yeah. See, this is why I should have updated that first, because now... See? It's like a perfect seam. So we actually need to add some of those, that skinning back in, but... That's going to be something for me to do on my own time. Alright, so... how do I want to do this? I don't want to set the T-pose. So what I want to do is I will minimize that. Up in my booleans, we've got animation rig. We're going to set that to false. So it's going to build through the whole rig, but it's not going to set the T-pose and it's not going to build the animation controls. So let's run that through. Cool. So, female body comes out, and what we do, because we've got these, oh, do I even want to bother? I mean, for what we're going to do, yeah, no, screw it. We're just going to open up an NG for that, and open up an NG for this one. We're going to call that face. Oh man, that looks scary. But now I can transfer from the body to this mesh.
I was wondering what would break first, your spirit or your body.
Oh yeah, I was going to show off like the metadata as well, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the poses, right? Hopefully I'm going to set the poses. T-pose, yeah, boom, we can set like that. Hey presto. Man, she's got really knobbly... Is that my skinning? Or is that just part of the character? She's got like super knobbly clavicles. Definitely want to smooth that out a tad, but... Actually, I mean, for just a fucking straight transfer, that's pretty good. Yes, so metadata. So you can see, right? Like, I clicked the root joint, I loaded it into this tool that I have, and I'm able to set different poses. So, if you look on the root joint, if I go into the attribute editor, we go to extra attributes, we see we've got a bunch of additional information in here. So these are my metadata nodes, or metadata attributes, I should say. So we've got HIK, joint pose, joint name. So joint name here, right? We've got the original name is root AM joint. So I could change this name to anything. I could change it to, damn it. And we should still be able to set everything from it, hopefully. Ooh, no. Maybe because it's the root joint name. Hold on. Let's see if I change it for the arm. Let's change that to damn it. Will that set? Yeah. Okay, so I need to update that so the root can be named something different as well. Actually, I do need to make sure that works because that's going to be something I'm going to need to use very, very shortly, actually. But you can see, yeah, we got original names on these joints. We also got this HIK. So this tagged, so a bunch of data that I've got when I build these joints each time, it tags with human IK information. So if I ever want to build a human IK from this skeleton, it can refer back to what's been tagged as a human IK node and instantly set that when building a character definition. So I can really easily transfer mocap over. And you can see, like, on joint pose, we got this massive one, which is a giant dictionary that's got, like, the A pose, it's got the root, it tells you what translation, rotation, scale, and everything to set. And if we scroll along, you can see we've got a bunch of other joints in here. So that's, like, basically what I'm doing. When I'm saying I want you to set a pose, it's looking for that joint pose metadata, it's extracting the dictionaries from that string attribute, and then using that to pose the character each time. Pretty simple. Well, is it simple? I mean, I guess it's simple. Like, it's straightforward. It takes a little bit to sort of like set up the infrastructure to do it, but once you do it, like, oh, so useful. Because this is something I like doing. Like, it's good to have the model in a more neutral position, a more relaxed position. But obviously, like for building a rig, if you want to orient your controls nicely or have more of a standardized pose, so that when you transfer animation and everything, things will transfer in a bit more of a streamlined way. You want to have like a nice oriented T-pose, so this means we get the best of both worlds. But let's go back to the A pose because I want to try and transfer the base stuff as well. Actually, let's initialize this, so that's the body, because I want to smooth it a few times. Just should be good. Actually, if I go T-pose, if I limit the max influences to 4, is that gonna break things? Oh, not really. It's alright. It's alright. I only consider you scum compared to Krusty. Yeah, you see how you scum. Actually, let's save this while I'm at it, because I have a feeling this might crash. High transfer. Why she's so high. Oh, I should have closed that. Whatever. Whatever. That's good. So, do I have... I really need like a select influences. Wait, do I have that?
Why would they come to our concert?
Ooh, thank you very much for the follow, Brawl Mater. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Feel free to say howdy in chat, introduce yourself, tell us what you do. Love to hear what my followers do, how they found the stream, etc. No stress though, if that's not something you want to do. Yeah, I swear I should have like a script. Select skin selector. No, don't. Let's just rename. Hello plus nice mustache. Thank you very much, good sir. Or good person. I shouldn't assume sir immediately. I do need to shave, actually. My beard's getting kind of long. I need to just keep the mustache. Also, I made a jump and run animation for my first pixel art game, and I'd like to get some feedback on them. I'm asking you because you know your stuff. Also, I really appreciate your work, sir. Oh, thank you. A jump and run animation for pixel art. I'm definitely okay with critiquing stuff like that if you like. I'm just not sure if I'd be. I mean, because I'm not really a pixel art guy. If you feel so, like, feel free to like shoot it through to me on Twitter or whatever, and I'll definitely give it some feedback. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to do here. I wish, yes, yeah, we do have a Discord server, actually. If you chuck it in... Boom. Does that come up? Yeah, if you go exclamation Discord in the chat, it should come up. My friend Nathan, who was in here before, he was a pixel artist for a while. I'm not sure if he's in our Discord, but he'd definitely be able to give some good feedback if he's around. I'm using the sucker way of selecting all the influences, guys. I know it's just like command skin clusters inf equals true or something like that. There's some way of doing it from the skin clusters. I'm just like, I just can't be bothered doing it. Select the female body. Alright, now we should be able to transfer the face. Closest point on surface. Fingers crossed. Let's see how it goes. Now, we're not really going to be able to test it because none of the animation is in there. Oh, but it seems to have transferred okay. The inner mouth is probably going to be... Oh, oh, the inner mouth is weird on this character. Wait, is this all one... I don't think I've ever looked inside the mouth in this character. That's not what it is like normally, is it? Oh yeah, no, it's just the skinning being weird. Okay, that's fine. I'm a beginner on the field, so no stress. Just say if it looks weird. Yeah, no problem. I'll take a look a little bit later if I can. What are you building the... are you building it in Godot? Are you building it in Unity? What kind of engine are you building it in? The game, I mean, Bromeda. Can I just smooth this a little bit without it breaking? Oh yeah, okay. Perfection. Ooh. Yeah, it's looking a bit weird, but I think that's probably going to be okay. Animations I make in Sprite. Oh yeah, I've watched. They come up in my YouTube sometimes. It's just like indie guys working on games or whatever, and all the pixel artists use Sprite. Sprite? Is that how it's pronounced? I don't know. I've never used it. The only time I've done pixel art stuff was in like Photoshop or like God, Lord save me, Flash back in the day. Because I'm an idiot.
Well, I'm an idiot.
Alright, so we got this character set up now. With this skinning transferred to the high res. So let's save out. Let's make a temporary subdirectory. Oh, man, I can't spell fucking temporary. Nope. Ah! Go away. Clicking the wrong thing. Main. Temporary. Thank you. That's much better. And let's save a skin. Rough test. And do I need to save NG? I may as well. I mean, yeah, it's not going to be too important, but may as well, just in case. Save that. Now, I can change it back to building the animation rig, and let's just make sure we load on that new skin cluster. So in here, in my load skin clusters dictionary, all I need to make sure is we refer to the temporary directory. Temporary. And, ooh, I don't think we even have, what is it? Wait, we've got like a separate inner mouth mesh? Oh boy. Yeah, we're not going to worry about that just yet. It's a whole other thing. That's pretty high resolution. Jeez. Yeah, this whole scan is high resolution. I mean, it makes sense. It's a scan. Go your own way, hey. Alright, let's just put that into the geo list. And then just make sure that the female body is referred to, and that's going to be loaded in. It's really weird, like, if you hear this stream out of context, right? That's always something I found when telling people, like, what I'm doing today. It's like, oh, today I skinned a human. I skinned a human female. And it's like, what? Excuse me? The normies, as I call them. Seems like it only accepts messages from friends. Do I do that? Yeah, I might. I'm not sure. Yeah, if you put it up in the Discord, like, yeah, because I'm not checking that stuff at the moment, mate. Like, I'll check it after the stream and stuff. I'm one of those people who can only focus on, like, one thing at a time. I'll definitely take a looky-loo. I'll find a way to get to it. I'm gonna head off. Good stream. Have a good new year as well. Thank you very much for hanging around, Steve-O. Catch you in the next stream, hopefully, my man, which will hopefully be sooner rather than later.
Well, see ya.
I think I am nearly close to being done anyway, guys. We'll just check that this transfer has gone okay. Oh, and I must remember, we got to try and raid somebody at the end of the stream, because I've never done that before and I need to find out how. We should probably raid somebody who is on the bottom of the list, right? That'd be the way to go. Oh, why did you not load? Huh. Oh, am I? Wait. Huh? Whoa. Oh crap, I did that. Yes, I didn't say, yeah, this is why I saved that file because I forgot to take away the override on the face. So all the head will be overriding everything else, which is why the skin cluster didn't work. Good raid option is Pirate Software. Oh yeah, Pirate Software. Although with that guy doesn't need anybody raiding him. He's got like thousands upon thousands of viewers, right? I was just gonna raid somebody who maybe doesn't have a lot of people watching, just to give him a boost. Yeah, we can see here. Yeah, the head is like overriding everything, so let's get rid of that. Boom, now that should work now. Woohoo! Tokyo. Save over skin. That is rough test. And let's save over the NG. Rough test. That should update, thank you. Oh, no, wrong one. Not reference editor, script editor, thank you. Aha! Aha! Oh, yep, it's taken much longer to build. That means the skin cluster is loading on correctly. Here we go. So how does the jaw go? That's all good. Everything's moving. Oh yeah, it's a little bit crunchy. Around the lips, yeah. Full max influences, guys. It's a harsh mistress. Eyelids and everything are working. Although, I mean, like, I can toggle on the, eyes, the aims. Yeah, not too bad. Everything follows along. These still work. How did the finger transfers go? Pretty good. Let's maybe not manipulate the thumb. Oh, that's a really long... That pinky is really long. Which game are you currently working on? So I'm not working in any game in particular, Mater. This is more setting up rigs that are capable of being used in game engines. That's one of the reasons, like, you can probably see if I, like, really push this. You can see up here, we've got some, like, really crunchy looking skinning up here. That's because we're using full max influences. So, like, full max influences for skinning is something that's very common for, like, for games where you're trying to preserve or you're trying to make things run as fast as you can. Oh.
Well,
catch you later, my guy. I have business to attend to doing the laundry. No worry, Raj. Thank you very much for joining tonight. Hope to see you in the next stream sometime. Catch you around. Yeah, so, like, I'm trying to just structure things.
Don't you know the poem? Water, water everywhere, so let's all have a drink.
No talking. Is that gum? Is that
I didn't realize those could stack up.
Oh, yeah.
But thank you very much for keeping me attentive, Wasabi Cheeto. What was I saying? Yeah, I'm trying to, like, centralize a bunch of code just so I have, like, a sort of, like, a basis to go from, Brawlmeter. So like if I want to offshoot and build some more simplified characters, I can use this character as a basis and sort of like start transferring stuff from that, or reuse the code, subclass the code and things like that. So yeah, one thing I do want to do, because I don't actually have a ton of experience like ingesting things into Unreal myself. Normally, like I just hand the rig over and somebody else does that. I do want to like pick up one of these characters and just kind of drop them in Unreal and see how it all goes. Just get an idea of the workflow and things like that. Is everything? Oh, yeah, like some of the skinning on the knees, maybe not transferred as well. Yeah, there's definitely improvements, but like this is just like wrapping one character mesh to another, transferring the skin clusters, and like seeing how it goes. A fantastically terrible movie according to the normies, but that I love. Eight-Legged Freaks. Oh, that's the spider movie, right? Wasn't that like one of Scarlett Johansson's very first movies? Like, I remember watching that like in the early 2000s or something. I wonder who did the VFX work on that. Would it have been like Tippett or something back in the day? I don't think it would have been ILM. Maybe. Yeah, admittedly, I have not seen Eight-Legged Freaks in a while. I will have to rewatch it. Because there's like a, sort of like a motorcycle, a dirt bike chase or something, and the jumping spiders like jumping on them. I remember that part. Must have seen it when I was like 12 or something. Oh yeah, the bellies. Yeah. Okay guys, well I think that pretty much got me to where I wanted to be for tonight. So I might start wrapping up the stream now then. So, as I said, I'm going to try and raid somebody, but I have no idea how to do it, so I'm going to figure out how to do it right now. Somebody said there's like a raid button? Raid channel. Ooh yeah, I can click on that. Pick a live channel to raid. So I'm gonna have to find who is live right now. So to raid, it's /raid username. Cool. Yeah, where is the game dev section? Guys, I so rarely use Twitch as well. Like, I only use it to really stream, and that's it. I'm, like, so unfamiliar. Oh, yeah, Pyro Software. 7.1k viewers. Good lord. Who have we got? Who's at the bottom? What have we got that's interesting? Oh, by raiding Pirate, you could bring some attention to me as well. That's an interesting, yeah. Tonight's like one night where I've actually had a decent amount of viewers in my chat, just from other raids, so I kind of want to push that along if I can. Spread the love, but I also got to find out if there's any channels. Ooh, Avatar 3D animation. What looks cool? Ooh, I see a guy who is putting joints into like something. Let's rate that guy. Nitram 137. Let's do that.
Well, see ya.
I guess when I click the button, does that end the stream? I guess we'll find out. Thank you very much for joining the stream, everybody. For Wasabi and Brawl and whoever's left in the chat, thank you very much for hanging out. I really appreciate everybody who's joined in tonight as well from raids and has followed. Again, I'll try and stream hopefully not too far in the distant future. I used to stream more frequently, but ever since I started working more, it's just been harder and harder to do. So I just try and fit them in when I can. But yeah, until next time, guys, thank you very much for hanging out, and I'll catch you in the next one. Ooh. Oh, do I stop streaming? Am I stop streaming? Oh no, here we go. Awkward.